The three main ways you're going to hurt your back deadlifting, and more importantly, the three ways, in my opinion, you can correct or avoid that. Hi, I'm Tommy, and welcome to my channel, Gym Life, where we talk about the gym, training, life, everything and anything in between. If any of my videos are of any benefit to you, then don't forget at some point, please subscribe to the channel. I genuinely appreciate your support as I'm a new and smaller channel. And with all out of the way, let's get on to today's video. Today I'm going to cover the topic of injuries. Now, in the past, I've been quite a good deadlifter, but I have suffered a few injuries along the way. So I've learned by my mistakes, and I'm trying to pass some of that knowledge on to you guys so that when you're deadlifting, it's something you can be aware of, avoid, and it means that you've got some longevity with regards to deadlift and your training. So you're going to enjoy it more, and that's what it's all about. That's what this channel is all about. So as I said before, if that sounds like something you're into, then don't forget to subscribe or like this video, or even comment. If you just want to say the video is crap, that's fine. I appreciate your support in any shape or form. So in reverse order, I'm coming at number 3, is when you hurt your back because you've got a weak core. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean I want you to do loads of sit-ups and a load of core work the obliques and get the six-pack going so you've got a stronger deadlift. It's about learning how to engage or brace, what they call bracing the core. Now, I do talk about this in another video on my channel, so I may stick that up somewhere in a link below or above. But bracing the core, if you imagine that this area, your midriff, your gut area, is a massive tank. And what you're doing is before you lift is you're sucking in a load of air, filling the tank, and then holding it there and pushing that air against the outer edges of the tank. So you're putting pressure on your gut and your lower back. What I want you to do is hold that air, maintain that pressure throughout the lift. I'm going to try and demonstrate that right now with a lift so you can see what I mean, right? So once I get myself in a position, what I'm doing is taking my grip and pulling a lot of air into my core, gut, and I'm keeping that pressure in throughout the lift. Protects my spine and makes sure that I avoid any injuries. The most common injury with regards a relaxed core or it not being engaged at all is that when you lock out, you'll find that the weight will slightly compress the discs in your back, which then obviously if they're touching, alarm bells, and it's going to be a while before you're deadlifting again. Number 2, to be honest, I had a couple of ways of sort of phrasing this or what I was going to sort of call it, but I decided to go with just bad form. But in particular, one of the things that I see quite common, probably more in beginners, more so than someone who's been lifting for a while, is bad form. Injury caused by one thing in particular, and it's a forward and a round on the back, which is, from memory, kyphosis. Google it, just in case I am wrong, or I might stick the meaning below somewhere, just to correct myself, but, so apologies if I've mispronunciated that. But kyphosis basically has to do with when the spine is in a weakened position because it's hunched or rounded over. To translate that into deadlifting terms, what happens is, what I commonly see is this. As the person's about to pull, you'll find that the pull will come from the lower back, the upper back will round forward, and then it's a strain to get into that lockout position. And as you've probably seen there, even I personally, and I'll be a much more experienced lifter than most, didn't enjoy having to do that, because what you're doing there is you're putting a lot of pressure on the lower back, the lower spine. That's what's taking all the force of the weight, whilst the upper back is almost softened or relaxed. But what it does more importantly and more dangerously is that it's opening up the spine and the vertebrae. All the pressure now is going to be on the lower back, and then the upper back is going to be in a weakened or more vulnerable position. So your back overall is in a more vulnerable state. The pressure forces more on the lower back, and to be quite honest with you, it's a bit of a lottery at which part of the back is going to go first. But trust me, the minute it does, the last thing you're going to want to do the following week is pick up a bar and deadlift. So how do we counteract that? Well, hopefully I can just demonstrate here. Quite simply, it's just correct your form. And more importantly, to counteract this curvature of the spine, is to what we're going to do is lock in the upper back. Now there's a multitude of ways to do this, or that it's spoken about quite commonly online, but to try and keep things simple, what I'm trying to do is get my upper back engaged in the movement so that then the weight or the force is spread throughout my back, keeps my spine in a much more neutral position, and it gives you a much safer, stronger pull. How I'm doing that in my mind is very, very simple. Once I get into my position, I take my stance, I take my grip, I am imagining my tricep pushing onto my lat. So that's my tricep and that's my lat. I am pulling the tricep towards the lat to lock in, keeping the arm straight, and then pull. How I visualize that is, once you're in your position, lock in the triceps onto the lats and pull. Keeping my upper back in a more neutral position in line with my lower back. Give that a go, and I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts in the comments below of how that's affecting your deadlift. More importantly, it means that you're going to be pulling safer for longer, stronger for longer. It's a win-win. It means you deadlift more. It means that next week you're going to put a bit more weight in the bar rather than waiting to pull the bar. And lastly, at number one, the main reason that you're probably going to hurt your back while deadlifting, regardless if you're a beginner, novice, amateur, or elite level. It's because you forgot to leave your ego at the door. I was going to cover this subject quick, more so specifically towards new lifters, but when I recall my own experiences, this can happen at any level, right? With regards to beginners, what you'll find is, especially with a deadlift, where it's seen as just a very simple basic exercise where you're literally picking the weight off the floor, and most of us can do that in some shape or form, you'll find that most novice or beginner lifters will far too quickly put a lot of weight in the bar, almost competing with those that are present in the gym. What you'll normally find is that if your technique and form isn't good, which it normally won't be if it's a new lift to you, because your motor neurons, your smaller muscles, even your main muscles aren't used to that actual movement and that pattern and engaging in a certain manner, what you'll find is if you put on weight too quickly onto the bar, or resistance, add additional resistance onto that lift, is that very, very quickly you'll hurt something, because your body has not just got there yet. You're not capable yet of moving that or handling that weight safely, and it will result in an injury. So more often than not, I see a lot of new lifters come in, they're taught safely how to use form and how the movement works, and advised not to put weight in the bar until they're comfortable with that pattern. 9 times out of 10, their ego gets involved, they're putting weight on the bar, and before you know it, they've stopped deadlifting or they hate deadlifting because they've injured themselves. On top of that, then you'll get more experienced lifters who will forget themselves. They'll maybe be training with other fellow athletes who in different gyms, or people they normally compete with, or friends or mates who have just joined the gym now, and just joined them on a training session for a bit of fun, and before you know it, it's what they call a pissing contest, where basically everybody's trying to beat the other person. It can be good in some respects, but what you'll find is 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to walk away injured because they've put too much in the bar and they've ultimately sacrificed their form to complete that lift. On top of that, then you've got the more sort of the elite level, the competitive lifters who, after a meet or competition, it's called a meet in America, powerlifting competition over in the UK, where after a competition where they've gone for their max effort lifts, that maybe too soon, whether it be in a training session or a training program, training cycle, or just after a competition, too soon again, they're going up around that max effort or trying a new max effort lift. Unfortunately, as you more experienced guys will know, the body just doesn't work that way. And what you're doing is, if you train a trained muscle, then you sacrifice both form and risk injury. So my advice, at number one, the main reason that most lifters, whilst performing the deadlift, will sustain an injury is because they forgot to leave their ego at the door. Train smarter, not harder. I hope that makes sense. I hope this video is of some benefit to you guys. Let me know in the comments below. Until the next one, take care of yourselves, enjoy your training, and bye for now.